Hello Rotarians, my name is Doug Young from London, Ontario, and this is my classification talk for the Rotary E-Club of Canada 1. And what an honor it is for me to join the Rotary E-Club, and I'd like to thank everyone for their very nice induction just a few days ago. I was asked by President Bruce to do this classification talk, which, oh gosh, I've got to do some technology stuff. So I should tell you a little bit about my background. I grew up in Toronto. I went to the University of Waterloo, and I went back to Toronto, and I received an appointment to the Federal Public Service at the weather office, but they said it wouldn't start for a year. So I thought to myself, what would I like to do for a year? And I said, I really want to drive the subway. So that's exactly what I did. I went to work for the TTC, managed to smash up a few buses, and had a lot of fun down in the subway. And then I went to work for the weather office for 8 years, doing a variety of things, but the most important part was I was in the sunny and warm department. But I also learned a great deal about computers while I was there, and then went out and started doing database programming on my own, and I did that for quite a while. And then the internet came along, and I was suddenly recycled as a Unix expert. And I've been working on the internet for 20 years now, although I have had an email address since 1980. My very first email address was, wait for it, UUNet, exclamation point, UTZoo, exclamation point, ATTCAN, exclamation point, Telly, exclamation point, Doug. Yeah, back then, the internet, as it was, really didn't exist yet, but there was something called UUNet, and for Unix to Unix network. And the maximum length of a host name was 6 characters. Can you imagine the internet with only 6-character domain names? Later on, my email address within 2 years was shortened to Doug@Telly, and then the internet really got started after that. But that was back in 1980. I've been working full-time on the internet for, like I said, 20 years now, first for someone else, and for the last 16 years for my wife, who's an excellent boss, although I tend to get my own way and I have no idea why. Our company's called London Webmasters, and we do a number of things. Mostly, we used to do internet access, but that got to be a very commodity thing, so we sold that for some number with about 5 zeros after it, which we are quite happy with. And now we're a very small company. We're essentially a mom and pop shop, but we do have our own servers, and we do application hosting, email, domains, and websites. One of the things that we host, and I work on quite a bit, is the Rotary TV auction in London, Ontario. I've been doing that for 10 or 11 years. I'm essentially the IT manager for that. That's a project of the Rotary Clubs of London North, South, and West. And eventually, I suspect I will chat with the executive about whether the E-Club wants to get involved with that. I've also been working with President-elect Doug on an internet auction for the E-Club, and we actually have a prototype up and running, and I'm sure that as time comes, everyone will get to see it. So that's my personal, a short version of my personal history. My Rotary history isn't nearly as illustrious, although my very first exposure to Rotary was when I gave a talk, 1996 maybe? 1997, at the Rotary Club of Hyde Park on what was new in the internet. This is before high speed was really widely available, and high speed back then was ISDN at a whopping 128K per second. Seems silly, but compared to dial-up, it really is extremely fast. Of course, now it's not uncommon to have internet speeds of multiple megabytes per second. I have 2 connections at my home office. One's a cable connection, 35 meg down and 2.5 meg up, and I have a DSL backup connection to that. So anyways, I started there, but I decided that Hyde Park, which is about 25 miles from where I live, was a little bit far to drive for Rotary, especially when the Rotary Club of London East met around the corner from where I lived. So I went and I joined them, and I was with them for a couple of years. And then my work schedule got a bit hectic as our business got busy, and I found it difficult to make lunch meetings. And then I switched to the Rotary Club of London North, which also met quite close to where I lived, where I was a member for 10 years, and including as club president once. And then again, scheduling and other things led me to have to leave that club. So that's why I'm quite anxious to join Rotary again. I've always been an active Rotarian. No rhino here, no. But my biggest project for the last 10 years has been, in fact, the Rotary auction. I took it online with a team of equally dedicated people, and we don't even take phone bids anymore. We took phone bids for many years, but we just stopped because the phone bidder really has no chance to compete against an online bidder, and that's all we do now. We've recently started doing simultaneous telecasts of the auction for 2 of the 3 nights. We may go to 3 nights next year. And it really has been very popular. You can actually watch the broadcast on the same window as you auction. So that's basically the concise version of my classification talk, and I'd like to thank the club for giving me this opportunity to talk about it. Thank you.